as I understand it, you all are part of the layout team at Hoffman. Is that correct? Okay,
Yeah, I'm Scott Sleeper, graphics team leader. So,
great.
so I overlook all the graphics people.
So Scott, you're kind of overlooking everyone on layout for all Hoffman papers. Great.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, Matt, we've got Aaliyah, who is our production manager. She's the one running the department. And then you have Scott, who's the design team leader, graphic design team leader. He helps to make sure that all our templates are up to date and that we're hitting all the marks on some of the page layouts and things of that nature. And then we've got Chelsea and Alex on the call, who are graphic designers, waiting on Caitlin.
I'm here.
Oh, I didn't see you. Sorry. Caitlin is here. Okay, she's one of our other designers on the team. Jamie is here. She's one of our designers on the team. Sorry, I didn't press the little arrow that like toggled all your pictures.
People.
Yeah, and then we have Lindy, who is she takes care of all of the design on our front covers and everything.
Okay.
So thank you for doing this today. Just as a recap for the design team real quick, we are getting ready to switch the St. Ignace and the Mackinac papers over to this reverse publishing, where they are going to be publishing their stories on the web and then exporting the files and putting them in OK to place through the website. And so we're on with Our Hometown today so that they can kind of show us when we get those files in the XML packages, how we're going to import them and work and how they will work into our page templates. Okay. And then Matt, are we recording?
Yes.
Perfect.
We are, and we'll send the summary of this whole meeting with timestamps for each topic discussed. So it'll be really easy to go back and review.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, I'll let you guys take it away.
Okay, sounds good. I think I'll pretty quickly just turn it over to Chris, who's running the screen here. He's going to show you all just this tool that we have for getting content from the website into InDesign. And you'll see how it parallels the process that you follow now, but it's going to be more efficient and it's going to allow them to be digital first. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But Chris, you want to go ahead and take it away there?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Christopher on the kind of marketing, production, multiple talent team. So why don't we just start with this? So this is the latest edition. This is a big featured story. It's already on the website. So I'm not sure at what point you guys are going to be involved, the design team. It seems like you're going to be seeing something similar to your previous folder structure where you had OK to place, and each page will have basically all of the media and the copy that's there. And what this plugin is actually going to allow you to do is kind of bulk all those together. So in this case, I was just doing the entire 521 edition. And so if I open this up, you still have all of the media, and this is for the entire edition. So it's in this case, it's not exported by page or anything, but what is all together is this XML file here. And I'll just open it up. You don't really need to worry about all the code that's in here right now. I'll show you kind of how it looks when you actually bring it into InDesign. But basically, this has all of the copy. It has references to the images. It has what's a caption, what's a headline. All these kind of things are all defined right here in this XML that comes out of the plugin. And so what I'm assuming is that you guys will have some kind of a ready-to-place folder that maybe maintain some of this structure, but instead of including the pictures and a docx file, it'll include the images and an XML file, which basically makes it much easier to kind of keep track of things and bring them into InDesign. So if this is kind of where we're starting, let's just jump over into InDesign and I can show you how we work with these exports. So first off, this is what we were sent before. This is the PDF of the May 14th edition. So we can check all the styles, the paragraph styles and everything over here. So what I'll do is I'll bring in I'll actually step back a second here. You can see I already did a quick test on that same story. So I exported the top story or as a group. I'm not going to go over all the export options because I'm assuming that's going to be done by other people, and you guys are going to be getting the XML for import. So I'm just going to delete everything that's in here and start from back at the blank template here. So this is just your sports template. I did notice that the paragraph styles don't quite match up with the latest version, so I had to work around that a little bit. But as long as the paragraph styles are set up on export to match the paragraph styles that are in the template, everything will work just fine. So what we're going to do here is you'll just open up your template, come up to File, and we just want to choose Import XML. And this will be where you'll go into whichever folder is provided. So if this is okay to go and you're responsible for certain content in that folder, you can just grab it. So I'm going to grab the top news category. So I actually exported these separately. You can define which category within a particular edition you'd like to export. So just go into this top news, all the images are there. And what I just want to do is import the XML file. And what we will there, I've written up a bit more on this, but for the most part, you're almost always going to do merge content. And when you hit open, you'll see this little guy here. So you want to merge the content, because then if, let's say, someone goes and changes one of the stories online, you've already done this layout work. All you have to do to update your copy or whatever's been changed is just re-export whatever needs to be updated and then re-import it here, and it will automatically update the content that way. So once we import the XML, you want to make sure you find the structure. So I think it's over here in utilities and version history. Let's see, we want to get our tags as well here. So you got our tags, but this should open the structure panel for you. And there was only the three top stories. So what it's going to do is it's going to have a tag element for each story. And then there's a little chevron here on the left. And if you twirl that down, it'll give you each of the elements for the story. So you see there's 7 pictures. There's the body, the subhead, and the title are all right here. And so depending on how the template set up, I have a text box here set up with the headline sans RD, but I also want to show you here. Right here, you see the paragraph style is actually in the XML. So I can even change this box to a completely different text style. But when I drag the headline in, it will overwrite the text style and it will assign the text style from the XML. So you see how it went ahead and made this. If I select this one again, it shows the headline sans. So even if the template isn't quite matching exactly, as long as there is a matching paragraph style in your style listings that matches the ones that are set up when you export the XML, they will match. Okay. And then once again, I've got another text box here that's for the subhead. You just drag it in. There it is. Same thing for the body. Actually, let me put a picture block in here. So I'll grab a text frame. Sure, this is common. You guys have done this 100 times before. You can even set up your fitting on the frame beforehand if you want. So I'll just set this to fit the content proportionally. And then the one thing is the images and the captions for the images are going to be separate. So let me twirl this down. This is just the first one here. You see you have one element that's the image and the other one is for the caption. So we'll just drag the image into the box I just set up. And you see it kind of does a little bit of fitting work on there. And of course you can do all your normal, cropping and stuff like that if you wanted to do any of these things. And then we'll just say this is for the caption. So once again, you just drag the caption in. It'll have the text style already there. And then up here, I'm going to grab the story element. You can grab any of these in particular that you want, but what makes this much faster is you can just grab the whole body tag itself and drop it into your text frame. And because Eric here has a paragraph style for byline writer, and the second one has byline email, you can see how those, without anything, were automatically styled according to your style sheet there. And then the rest of the paragraphs go in. I did already set up the two columns on here, but you can do that either before or after you drag anything in. So the main point of this is you're using all of the same elements you use in the template. It's just now you can drag your images and everything directly via this XML bundle without having to necessarily track things down locally on your folders, the folder structure, all that kind of stuff. You can have just these are ready to go. These are the stories that are in there, all the images, everything is all here. Basically, the XML is representing what's in that folder plus all the copy in the XML file. So that is just like the super basic run through of, you bring the XML in, it has all these references to both all the images that are associated, and then it has all the copy with the associated paragraph styles, so that when you do drag them into the template, it'll match whatever styles you already have set up. So I know that was kind of a big little push spiel there. So I'm going to take a pause here and just, does anybody have any kind of questions? Does this at least look like it kind of makes sense? It's not too far out of bounds of what you guys have been working with.
So, team, the way that I see this working so that we're not losing our identity as graphic designers is that we're gonna import the story elements from these XML the way that it is showing. And then once we get it on the page, you're going to use your same creativity and your autonomy to design the page and move things around and create the newspapers the way that they are. But this is not, I don't want you to think that this is making us any more robotic or, any more templated. We want to hold to that. This is just allowing the Michigan team, Alexis particularly, to publish stories online in real time and then not have to necessarily worry with getting us that same information or holding them. She is going to export these by story, not necessarily by page or category. So in OK to Place, you're still going to see your page number and you'll see a folder for each one of the groups of stories like you have before. The difference is you're going to import all of the pieces through this XML piece. Does that help to clarify and answer any other questions that might have come up? Scott, you're muted.
I've got sort of an office right behind me with discussions going on. The only thing I'm kind of confused is, I mean, weren't these files created when they were pulled from our PDFs, or who?
So that's where we are. That's what's going to happen. That's going to change. Just like in Napa, where they're sending a headline email daily and the PDF is at the bottom and it switches out once a week, where that's the print edition. We're going to switch the Michigan group to be that kind of same thing. And our hometown is not going to be extracting the stories and posting them anymore to the website. The only thing they're going to extract for us is going to be obituaries, legal notices, and classifieds. Those were the three categories. And then they're going to take care of putting together that PDF edition for us when we upload it. But all the stories will have already been posted because Alexis is going to, and her team is going to post them in real time. So, like, for instance, this Saint Sore again, this story isn't actually publishing on the website until today, but it happened last weekend and they had the story completed on Monday. So they could have published it online on Monday, and then it could have then been in our printed edition today.
And if I may follow up, so what's the files are coming from the files are coming from the website itself. The plugin allows for you to basically filter or by edition or go into the article list and basically select individual stories, hit the export option, and it'll just pop those stories down so that it can then be placed into the ready to go folders that are going to be coming your way.
Okay, so when they post it online, they'll make that Saint Sore again. They'll call that a headline.
Exactly.
And that's where our InDesign picks up those styles.
Yes.
Yep. And all the captions that are put on, all that kind of stuff that's done to make it look perfect and all that kind of stuff online, the XML will capture the most relevant parts of that for print. And then that's what's made available in the XML and the zip archive.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Okay, so a question about the images that are imported, because these are coming from the website. Will these be set as like a web, like
No, so we've already,
DPI?
great question. We've already discussed that. We checked that ahead of time. So when Alexis and any editor or reporter, when they are uploading to the website, they're going to upload those high resolution images. The website is going to size them correctly for web presentation, but when they use this plugin on the website to export it, it is going to export the original sized file, which will be good for print.
Okay, and then the next question after that is, because these will be published online before we put them into print, does that mean that we will no longer be responsible for taking care of the web images for these articles?
That is correct.
All right.
Just like Napa.
Look, understood.
Does everybody see Scott's grin? That was a grin, I think. He's excited about that one. Caitlin, do I have a yay on that one? Lindy, this is probably going to most affect you because of your art presentation. I see this as being import the stories and then use the elements in the folder to build the covers the way that we normally do. I don't want to, we are not going to change any of our presentation in any portion of it. It's just she's going to be able to post them online ahead of time.
That was my only question. If the images are coming through this, how do we get to the native file to like tone it or do any editing on those photos since they're going into the web first? We probably need to color correct for print.
Yeah, so those files should all be in the root folder that is going to go in OK to place. The actual XML file will have the images right there.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It just, the way that InDesign works, you can import them directly and have the caption associated with them as well to make the automation a little bit easier. How much of that we use and how much of that we don't use is up to us, as long as we don't get anything mixed up. But you should be able to do all of those same things the same way.
Just like we do now. Okay.
Correct. The biggest difference here is think of this like Napa, where they're publishing online already and they're putting things in OK to place in Word documents and with images. The only difference is that Alexis is going to be using the website and basically clicking on the stories and exporting them into this XML package instead of copying and pasting them into a Word document. And it's going to hold all the formatting already for us. So there's a few little automation pieces that'll help us.
Okay, makes sense.
Chelsea?
Sorry, just the next question. So will we be starting this process beginning this week with Mitzi, or are we waiting till next week?
We are going to start this next week with the June 5th or June 4th and what is it, 6th or 7th edition of Mitzi. We're starting it the first week in June. Anything else? Jamie? No? Alex? Caitlin? Hey. Scott? Hey. Christopher, is there anything we need to do you said our paragraph styles did not match up. Is there anything we need to do on our end for when we start importing those paragraph styles?
Well, it just looked like you had shifted over to using these RD suffix styles. This is the 514, and the other one had the RD styles, but they hadn't been set up. The 2023 styles were still set up. So if you see what I did here, I actually opened this up and just based it on the 2023 one. So it looks like this has already been addressed in maybe like if you guys are on these templates, but it was just something I noticed that you basically just want to make sure that the paragraph style indication is exactly the same as what you're using in here, if you just want to use that quick drag and drop.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not sure how all the two different styles are on one document, how they ended up getting there. I'll have to reassess my styles to lose some of those.
And then it just basically needs to match. As long as the indicated one here is the same name it'll match it up when you do the drag and drops. You don't have to go through and manually set all that stuff separately.
Okay.
If I may, I did want to show one workflow thing, which I think would be helpful. So this is the Saint Soar again. You notice that the again is not your original headline. So I was using that as a quick demo. So if I think that was in top stories, and then let me come in, and this would just be, let's see, where is it? Okay, yeah. So basically, let's just say someone decided to change the headline after publication, something was tracking better. You can basically re-export the XML after those changes have been made. And I'm going to basically pretend that's what just happened. So I have a different headline in here, and all I need to do is just re-import this, merge the content just like we did everything, and you see how the headline immediately updated. So I just wanted to show you there's a pretty cool workflow for handling updates if something does happen to happen that way. All this layout work and all the other stuff will stay intact if you do need to re-import, because everything as long as you don't mess with anything over here, you don't want to change any names or anything, you just basically want to drag from this panel into your layout. And as long as everything maintains that, if you re-import, everything stays linked, none of the layout stuff breaks. And if there is like an update that happens, you can just re-import the XML and all the content will update along with that. That was just a quick little demo for that, just a note, just in case something like that comes up. Anything else that maybe you guys are maybe mulling over when you're envisioning actually putting this into practice that I could address? We'll definitely be around for any questions. Fire off an email if you run into something, and if we just need to jump on, we can try to jump on and help you guys out for 20-30 minutes or something if you run into something that's preventing things from moving forward. But looks like everybody's pretty ready to go.
So I see that you're showing InDesign beta. We're not using InDesign beta. This plugin is offered in InDesign 2024, correct?
Actually, we're not using, none of our plugin has anything to do with actually InDesign proper. So it just creates the XML that works with the way InDesign handles the XML. So
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter which version of InDesign you're
Okay.
using.
Perfect. And then we will probably be starting to work on pages for St. Ignace on Monday. So I would imagine that if we start to have any questions, you would be getting an email from myself, Scott, or Aaliyah directly for the team as stuff comes up Monday, probably a little before lunchtime or after, because we upload that paper by Tuesday. So that's kind of our window in what we're working on.
And our Monday production schedule is a bit lighter. We're heavier in the middle, so we should actually be able to accommodate a quick turnaround meeting on Monday if
Right.
needed. Absolutely.
I was just gonna say, like, what we could do is jump on the Zoom call, you share your screen with us, so we're looking at exactly what you're working on, and then we just troubleshoot, whatever story it is.
Okay, that's perfect. I think this is pretty straightforward, guys, with hopefully just minor tweaks in what we're doing on our end, and that this will help Alexis meet some of the goals of reporting more in a timely fashion online up in Michigan for that. So I guess just keep us posted with any questions or bugs as we have it. We appreciate our hometown. If you guys can make a note that next week's edition, so June 4th and the one that is going to publish on Friday, June 6th for Mackinac and Town Crier, that both of those are not going to need the extraction process. That the only things that'll extract on those editions will be the obits, the legals, and the classifieds.
So classifieds, gotcha.
Okay, but we'll still continue, and we'll need the PDF version swapped into
Sure. Yeah.
at the very bottom and published online. And outside of that, then we should be ready to rock and roll.
Speaking of that, at some point, are you going to want to be managing the obits and all of those yourselves as well?
Eventually, I
Okay.
think when I can add a payroll person that is a web editor, I would love to put that on them. I don't right now. I want to get through this process. We'll see if it creates any more bandwidth within the team to move to this. There is a possibility that if this goes well, and then we can follow by switching some of the Florida Weekly editions to this, that then we take all of those web images that we've been doing, all that time that we've been spending putting that together, and possibly take that off because we're no longer doing that, and we can manage putting some of the other pieces into place. But right now we just don't, we're juggling a lot. So
Understood. And the reason I also mention that is because if our team is going to be extracting any content, it's super simple just to tag the PDF edition as part of that process. Since we're already downloading it, it's already set up in the process that we've been doing. So to keep, posting the e-edition for you guys while we're doing any kind of extraction is very, very simple to keep included.
okay,
So I just wanted
that
to
would be,
tie those
yeah,
together.
perfect. I would say that if we're going to switch and have any part of that process come to our team, I would look at having the whole part of that process come to our team so that it's a
Yeah.
one and done. Okay.
Understood. Cool. Yeah.
Mhm. Does anybody from our team have any other questions before we go? No? Okay. Thank you guys. Appreciate everybody's
Absolutely.
time.
Thank you
Okay.
guys.
So
All
thank you,
right.
everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.